What's going on, YouTube? Happy Saturday! And it's your boy Duddits here. We're going to be doing a deck profile today for Zombie World Eldlich. I'm not going to take too much time with this, and I'm just going to jump right into this. We're going to get started. Pretty standard. Running 3 copies of Zombie. With this card, a lot of people should know what this card does. So it has an effect on summon. When it's normal or special summon, you can pitch one zombie from your hand to the graveyard to increase a level of a zombie on your field, or any card on the field, my bad. And then it has a secondary effect where you can pitch any zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard to increase a targeted monster's level on the field by 1. It's a pretty standard zombie engine. 2 copies of Shiranui Solitaire. This card just gives you access into any tuner zombie with 0 defense, and that's being the Unizombie. So these 2 cards come like hand in hand to start your combos. Easy Christian Halka Fibrax plays. Then we're running 2 copies of Eldlich the Golden Lord. Everybody should know what this card does, and for the people that don't know what the card does, is that you can send itself and one of those spell or trap from your hand to the graveyard to send one face-up card on the field to the graveyard. And then it has effect engrave where you can target a spell or trap on your field to destroy it and send it to grave, and then you add it to your hand, special summon any zombie monster. It gains 1,000 attack and defense, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects until the end of your opponent's turn. So normally this is the card that you bring back, and it gets a 3,500 attack and a 3,800 booty. Sorry about that, it's pretty late at night. Whoopsie poopsie. Next up in our engine, we're running 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. It's just right now still a very viable hand trap. There's still lots of very impactful hand traps in the format right now, being like Nibiru's, Imperms, Skullmeisters, Ghost Ogres. Seeing as since Called by the Grave has been limited, rest in peace. I don't know why he did this, Konami. For our single copies, we're running 1 copy of Mizuki just to bring back our stuff from the graveyard banishing. A single copy of Necroroll Banshee. This card, when it's on the field or in graveyard, you can quick effect banish to set Zombie World from your deck to the field. Super great, just especially if you're playing the control variant, which we're kind of playing it more of a control variant for this format because as Virtual World being the Virtual World and Dragon Link, I think, are like the top decks currently, and it just helps out a lot. Then we're running a single copy of Jackabolin. This card is really nice because you could target any zombie in either graveyard, special summon it to your field, but it gets banished whenever it leaves the field. And it's just a really, really good zombie monster. Then we're going to be running our single copy of Doom King Balderok. Everybody knows what this card does. I'm just not even going to sit here and explain it. It's just a great zombie boss monster. If you can see in the background, obviously we're going to be running the Dragoon engine, so we're running 1 copy of Dark Magician and 1 copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon. These cards are your only 2 garnets in the deck. For it, running 2 bricks in the deck for a single boss monster, I think it's worth it. Then we're running 1 copy of Plague Spreader Zombie and 1 copy of Glow Up Bloom. With Plague Spreader Zombie is when it's in the graveyard, you can special summon it back to your field by putting 1 card from your hand at the top of your deck, and then it gets banished whenever it leaves the field. Glow Up Bloom, when it's sent to the graveyard, you banish it for cost to special summon or add to your hand a level 7 or higher zombie monster, but you're locked into zombies for that entire term, which is fine because that's what we're playing, is zombies, so there's no reason to be locked and no reason to be worried. That's it for the monsters. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the spells. We're running triple copies of Curse Eldland. This card is the zombie variant of Cleefort Scout for you people that remember that deck. It's pay 8 to feel great, and you can add any golden land card from your deck to your hand, or obviously just Golden Boy. All depends on what you have in your hand. Normally you're going to search for Golden Lord if you already have the Conquistador in your hand, but if you already have the Conquistador and or if you already have the Lord and the Sanguine, you can search out the Conquistador or the Haquero, depending on what your matchups are. You know, it's very format reliant. Then we're running 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. This card's very great because back row hate decks are starting to come back a lot. So, you know, it's quick effect. You pay 1,000 and you banish a spell or trap on your opponent's field. Then we're running the bread and butter of our deck, Zombie World. This card shuts down Dragon Links because they need dragons to start up their plays. So Zombie World is very devastating to those decks that rely on archetype-specific cards. I think that's really the only deck other than like Settlement Greats that the Zombie World hurts, which is fine. Then we're running our other brick, Red Eyes Fusion. This card's what you target to send off a Predaplant, Verite, and Anaconda. Unless you are very unlucky and you hard draw into it, then it's just going to be Red Eyes Fusion, set, pass. Then we're running a single copy of Eldlich or Black Awakening. So what this card does is you get to special summon a Eldlich the Golden Lord from your deck in defense position. But if you control Eldlich the Golden Lord already on your field, you can special summon any zombie monster from your deck. You are, however, locked into special summoning zombies after this card resolves. But again, since we're playing a deck virtually, based around zombies, that's not an issue. We're running 1 copy of Foolish Burial. This card is just amazing, especially if you just open up a Zombie World and you want to send whatever you need. Glow Up Bloom would be a really good target to send off this, just so you can already get your Balderrock onto the board. Then we're running a single copy of Eldlich or White Destiny. So what this boy does is you get to special summon a zombie monster from your hand and or graveyard, or Eldlich if you control no Eldlich monster. And you're still locked into zombies. That's fine, because again, zombie deck. A single copy of Terraforming just to search out your zombie worlds, since we're only running 2 copies of it. So you have 2 ways to get into Zombie World: your Necroworld, Banshee, and your Terraforming. That's it for all the spells. We're going to go ahead and move into the traps. We're going to be running 3 copies of Eldlich or Scarlet Sanguine. Scarlet Sanguine lets you special summon any zombie monster from your deck or graveyard if you already control Golden Lord, but if you do not control Golden Lord on the field, you can only special summon Golden Lord from your deck and or graveyard. Again, you're locked into zombies, which it's not bad. I should also mention with the Eldlich of Black Awakening and White Destiny, the turn that they are sent to grave, you can't banish them, but the follow-up turn, you can banish them to set your golden lands, as well as with the Eldlichs of Scarlet Sanguine. You could banish them to set your golden lands from the deck to your field. It kind of bounces back and forth between the two. A lot of people should already know how that works, because Eldlich has been in this format for quite some time. I think only a few months now, maybe 6 months. I'm not too sure. I could be wrong. Then we're running 2 copies of Conquistador of the Golden Land. What this card does is, if you control Golden Lord on the field, you could special summon this card as a normal monster, and you could target 1 face-up card on the field and destroy it. Then, the turn that it was not activated and sent to the grave, you can banish this card to set any of your Eldlich cards. So they kind of just work off themselves. You have to be very... It's a very good grind engine, but you also have to be very... you got to be very... resourceful. You don't want to burn through all of your resources and then just run out of steam. Then we're playing 2 copies of Haquero of the Golden Land. This card acts as a DD Crow. If you control a Golden Lord on the board, you can just banish anything from the graveyard. It does the same thing as Conquistador when it's in the graveyard. The turn that it wasn't sent to the grave. Now this is the Spice Tech from our friend Steven Trifanowski. Torrential Tribute. This card is absolutely nuts, especially in pure Eldlich. This card is just board wiping, absolutely great. It's such a spice card. I don't think anybody would have thought of that other than Steven. Then we're running our 1 counter trap Golden Land Forever. So this card's kind of like Infernity Barrier and our Settlement Great Roar and the Orchestrated Crescendo. But instead you have to control Golden Lord on the field, and you contribute any zombie monster to negate the activation of a card. And then for the last, we're running 1 copy of Shiranui style Swallow Slash. This card, absolutely amazing in this deck, especially since we're running Shiranuis in here, being the Solitaire. So what this card does is you tribute 1 zombie monster from the field, and then you target 2 cards on the board. I'm going to make sure that's 2. Yes, 2 cards on the field. Destroy them. Then you can banish 1 Shiranui monster from your deck. But that's it. That's going to wrap it up for the main deck. We're going to go ahead and jump right into our extra deck here, trying to not go too long with this. We're going to go ahead, 1 copy of Predaplant, Verite, Anaconda. This card just becomes any fusion spell's name. Simple, just put it like that. Nobody ever uses the first effect, but you have to pay 2,000 life points in order to activate this card's effect. And then after the activation is done, you're locked into special summoning. A single copy of Vampire Sucker. This card lets you special summon 1 monster from your opponent's graveyard. It becomes a zombie monster, and then if a zombie monster is special summoned from the graveyard, you get it to draw 1 additional card. So it's pretty okay. Like, I wouldn't say it's an amazing card, but like in pure zombies, I mean, you just plus off of it. A single copy of Apollosa, Bow of the Goddess. This card, I don't think I've ever gotten a chance to go into it. It's kind of just here, placeholder. Then we're going to be running 2 copies of Red Eye's Dark Dragoon, our boss monster. This card, it's great. It's just bad because people have finally figured out how to get over it. You know, Forbidden Droplets, Dark Ruler No More, Kaijus, any of those spot removals, evenly matched, gets rid of it, no problem. 1 single copy of Borrelsword Dragon. This card's been out for so long, people should already know what it does. I'm not going to waste time explaining it. 1 copy of Yukione, the Absolute Zero Mayakashi. This card's bananas, like absolutely bananas. Like, what this card does is, anytime a zombie monster is special summoned from the graveyard, or anytime a zombie monster is special from the graveyard, you can negate the effects of monsters on your opponent's side of the field up to twice per turn. Well, actually, no, it's not even on your opponent's field. You can negate any monster effect on the field up to twice per turn, and all of your opponent's banished monster effects are negated. Then we're running a single copy of Link Haribo, 1 copy of our Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. This card just lets you mill 5, add back a light monster, and there's really no light monsters in zombies other than Golden Lord, but this card in zombies really pluses because you want a lot of zombies in grave. Then we're running 1 copy of Borrelode Savage Dragon. This card, again, it's been around for quite some time. Everybody's seen it in almost every top contending deck out there, especially in Synchro Eldlich. I'm going to try to get it into the side deck here. We'll just kind of run through this real fast. So we're running 2 copies of Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansions. This card was what I was talking about earlier. Right now, with all the graveyard-eccentric decks and effects in the grave, this card just shuts them down, stops Called by the Grave, DD Crows. It's great. I'm glad that this card's finally being able to see its time. A single copy of Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Power-Piece Feather Duster for pesky back row decks, 2 copies of Dark Ruler No More, just to shut down effect monsters on those, you know. I build a board .dex, now you can't play a game, ha ha ha, Dark Ruler goes brr. 2 copies of Dimensional Barrier, because Virtual World is a thing and you want to shut down those synchro plays as soon as you can so you don't have to worry about going into a very fun dragon. 2 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison, 2 copies of Solemn Judgment, a single copy of Conquistador of the Golden Land, a red reboot, and a evenly matched. And that's going to go ahead and wrap up our deck profile for our Zombie World Eldlich. Really appreciate the time that you guys, put into watching my videos and everything like that. I know it's been a very, very long time since I posted anything new to the channel. But if you like what you see in this content, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more updated profiles. And happy holidays and have a good New Year's.